In the corner of my eye, I saw 2 lines. And I was like, what? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how I found out that I am pregnant. Yes, I am pregnant. So weird to still say that, but you probably could tell by the title. Also, I'm going to be telling you kind of how I told my husband and how we found out together. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I'll start with a little bit of a backstory. So last year, me and my husband got married on June 15th, 2019. And then after that, we kind of talked about, you know, when we were going to like try for a baby and kind of all of that, starting our family. And we kind of decided that once we both had our steady careers and we bought a house, that it would be a good time to start trying for a baby, even though we know that there's never like a good time to really start trying. There never is. But little did we know that that fell into place very quickly. I have videos linked below about finding our dream house, which ended up being our first house, and about our wedding day as well, which we did like a DIY wedding and kind of did the whole thing ourselves. So videos linked below about that. Anyways, little did we know that it kind of fell together all very quickly. We got married, like I said, on June 15th. My husband actually ended up graduating earlier that year and finding a job within his field really quickly. So he is a project manager for an engineering team. And then right after we got married, like a week later, we started looking at houses and got pre-qualified. So everything fell into place very quickly. We got very lucky. So as we were moving into this house, we kind of decided that, you know, I got off birth control after being on it for about 11 years, and I didn't know how long it was going to take us. After being off of birth control, I've heard so many different things that it happened right away, or it took up to a year, all that kind of stuff. And then of course you have to let the baby cook for 9 months. So we decided that we would start trying pretty quickly after we got married. So we ended up starting to try at like the end of July, early August. And if you guys want a video about trying to conceive and all of that, I even have kind of like a day-to-day on how I was feeling and my symptoms from the day that I was ovulated to the day that I found out that I was pregnant. So I can do a whole separate video on that as well. But so January 16th, I believe that was the day, I was about 10 DPO, and we were getting ready to go on a little weekend vacation with my in-laws, and I didn't know if I was pregnant then. We were kind of going to like this beer fest, and I was like, I don't want to be drinking if I find out that I'm pregnant, and what if I find out that I'm pregnant and then I can't drink and then people are gonna find out, and I wanted to wait until we were in the clear to be able to tell people and, you know, all of that stuff. So I woke up early on January 16th, which I believe was that Friday, and I took a pregnancy test with my first morning pee, as you're supposed to do, and there was absolutely no line. And I had been watching a lot of like YouTube videos and researching kind of like at 10 DPO, if you're pregnant, what it looks like, and I feel like everybody had at least some kind of a line. There was, you know, a faint line, or some people even by then had like really distinct lines. So me seeing absolutely nothing, I was like, okay, I'm not pregnant, another month, whatever. So this was January, so we had been trying for 6-7 months. And So I was kind of just like, okay, well, whatever, at least I won't have to try to hide it this weekend and keep it from family. Like, I was trying to think positive, but by then I was kind of getting like month after month, there was still like nothing happening. And so it is hard. I don't know how people do it when they've been trying for a year or multiple years. Like, it really does get to you. And I was really trying. I had a pregnancy app that I kind of kept track of like my ovulation and, you know, that kind of stuff, but I never like bought ovulation tests and bought a million pregnancy tests. Like, I was trying not to get too crazy into it and like get really down and hard on myself, because I knew that would happen if I did buy all those and get really into it. So anyways, getting off track, but that Friday morning, absolutely nothing on the pregnancy test. I even took a couple other brands in digital and kind to see even if it was, if there was a line, you know, anything, and there wasn't. Like, not even a little slightly faint line, nothing. So I was like, okay, whatever. So we went on our weekend vacation, had fun. I don't drink a whole lot, but you know, if like other people are having a drink around me, you know, I'll have one or two here and there. And so that weekend, so I was supposed to start my period, I believe, on Monday. Well, Saturday morning when we got up to leave, because we left early Saturday morning, and I had started bleeding. So I was like, oh, I'm just starting my period early. It was more than like spotting, but it wasn't like a full-blown period yet. So I was like, you know, okay, it is what it is, and we went from there. So over the weekend I was bleeding. It was the same thing. It wasn't super like spotting, but it wasn't super heavy either. Monday we came back. No, we came back Sunday night. I had to work Monday morning. So I got up, went to work, all of that kind of stuff, came home. I was still kind of bleeding, but it was still kind of the same thing. And I kind of figured like, okay, by now, like day 2 and day 3 of my period usually are heavy, TMI, but are usually heavier. And it wasn't still getting to that point. It was still more than spotting, but it wasn't super heavy. And I remember one of my friends telling me when she found out that she was pregnant, she had like a full-blown period before she found out that she was pregnant. So I was kind of like, you know, it's been a few days since I took a pregnancy test. Maybe, you know, I should just take one just to be safe and, you know, get it out of my brain, since I was thinking about it, even though I knew like 99% it was going to be negative. So after I came home from work, it was probably about 5 o'clock. It wasn't my first morning pee or anything like that. So I took just one of like the cheap little like dollar store pregnancy tests, and I didn't even like look at it right away, anything like that. I put it in our toilet area is kind of separate from the rest of our bathroom, and so we have like a windowsill just above the toilet. So I just put it into the windowsill and I kind of just like let it be. I ended up having to like do homework and take a test, and I was working on our taxes and doing a bunch of other stuff, and I didn't even think about it. And then a couple of hours later, I had to use the restroom again. So I went, and when I was done, I stood up and I saw that I had the pregnancy test, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that I took that. So I went to look at it, and kind of in the corner of my eye, I saw 2 lines. And I was like, what? Like, I've been bleeding. Like, I took a pregnancy test around 10 DPO and there was absolutely nothing. Like, I had just went pee, so I couldn't like pee on another test right away to like see. So I had this one pregnancy test, and I'm like, what do I do with this? Like, it was on Monday night. I had to work the rest of the week. Like, I had other pregnancy tests, but since I had just peed, I knew I couldn't take one right away. So I just didn't even know what to do. And I'll show you guys the test. It wasn't just like it was a faint line and I was like, oh, maybe I see something, maybe I don't. Like, it is very, very obvious. Here, I'll show you guys. It's a little bit discolored now because obviously it's been a little while, but I'll show you guys here. Like, it is very, 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 it's even blurry and you can tell how like distinct it is. So I was like, what the heck? And I wanted to tell my husband in like a cute way, of course. Everybody always wants to do it cute, and sometimes like people will plan it out ahead, which I think is really smart because I didn't. And I like couldn't wait to say something because I was so confused. I didn't even know if it actually meant that I was pregnant or if it was a false positive or what. So my husband was in our office and he was playing video games and watching a TV show, or, you know, doing all his guy gaming stuff. And I had told him on a Friday before we went on vacation that I had taken a pregnancy test and it was negative, so I was okay to drink this weekend and whatnot. We didn't have to try to hide it from family since that was like my concern at the time. And so I went to him and I was like, hey, remember when I told you that I took a pregnancy test on Friday and it was absolutely negative, not even a faint line? Well, there's 2 lines right now. I just took one. And he was like, what? Like, are you sure? Like, he was kind of confused as well because I told him that I had started my period early and, you know, that like this month it didn't work. We were gonna have to keep trying. So not only did it caught me off guard, but it really caught him off guard too, because I had been telling him like I took a pregnancy test, it didn't work, I started my period, like all this stuff, basically saying like I'm not pregnant. And then now all of a sudden there's 2 lines. So we were talking about it and stuff, like, and he was like, we'll take another one. And I was like, I just went to the bathroom, like I can't take one right now, like I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. So we got water and I was just chugging water and we were just talking about, you know, all the stuff, what if. And about a half hour later, I was like, okay, I think I could take another one. So we took another cheap, like dollar store one together. And then I also took a digital one at the same time. So we had both of them. And as soon as I dipped the cheap dollar store one, instantly like 2 lines appeared and I just started bawling. I was so excited because even though we hadn't been trying for really like that long in the scheme of things, it was still just like so unreal because I totally thought that we had not, you know, succeeded that month and we were gonna have to keep trying. And so I just sat on the bathtub and I was just bawling. I was so excited. And my husband dipped the digital one and he was looking at that one. And so we covered it for the 3 minutes or whatever that you're supposed to. And then as soon as it went off, he looked at it and he was like, yep, we're pregnant. And at that time I knew it. As soon as I saw the other cheap test with the 2 lines come up like instantly, I was like, okay, this is real. So it was just crazy. And then so we cried together. I have the digital one too. And like it was right away. There's no not seeing it, anything like that. It's very, very clear that we were pregnant. So that is how we found out kind of together. You know, I wish that I could have done it in some cute way and I didn't have all these confused mixed symptoms and all of that, but you know, that's just kind of the way that it works out sometimes. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm pregnant and you know, that's all that matters. This is going to be our first baby and we have everything in place and we are just so blessed. And yeah, there's nothing else that we could ask for. So please stay tuned. Just ordered the furniture for the nursery, so I want to kind of do like a put together nursery vlog and you know, all those fun like pregnancy mommy vlogs. So if you guys like that kind of material, stay tuned and I will see you guys next week.